3, 2. Hi, everyone. I am Almedia Lee Exum here with the Anarkist, and we are doing a live reaction of Judas and the Black Messiah's trailer. All right, you all. Give us a second here, pull this up, and let's see what's going on with this Judas and the Black Messiah trailer. The Anarchist, you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's see.
Deputy Chairman Fred Hampton of the Illinois Black Panther Party. Repeat after me. I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary.
You're looking at 18 months for the stolen car, 5 years for impersonating a federal officer, or you can go home.
The Black Panthers are forming a rainbow coalition of oppressed brothers and sisters of every color.
Their aim is to sow hatred and inspire terror.
I will learn all that I can.
These ain't no terrorists.
You can murder and liberate them, you can't murder liberation. You can murder revolutionary, but you can't murder revolution. And you can murder a freedom fighter, but you can't murder freedom.
Wow.
I have a question before we talk about the reaction. Is both Daniel Kaluuya and LaKeith Stanfield, are they both Academy Award nominated?
I don't know. I don't know if I believe that Daniel is. I don't know if LaKeith is. Why do you say that?
Because it said Academy nominated actor, and it said Daniel Kaluuya, and then it said Keith Stanfield right under that. So I don't know if they both are nominated, if just Daniel's nominated. But either way, what are your thoughts? Almedia, I'll let you go first. Ladies first. What are your thoughts on the trailer?
Very interesting. Now I want to know if he is Academy Award, if he's won any awards. Academy.
Well, they said nominated. I think Daniel was nominated. I don't know if he won it, but to even just be nominated, puts you on another tier.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and I see that he was nominated for some stuff, but I don't know if it's Academies nominated or anything for LaKeith. Now, as far as this trailer, because I quickly looked it up, I'm like, okay, let me see if he's nominated for anything. I don't know. So it looks very exciting. Very exciting, very interesting. Now, we as Black people know the story of Fred Hampton and the Black Panther Party, so it's going to be interesting to see this story play out on TV. Their adaptation of the story, like their see what actually sticks to the original truth. I think it looks very exciting. I would have thought they would have cast LaKeith as Fred Hampton. I don't know. Like, I think he kind of looked more like him to me. I don't know, but like it looks very interesting, and I'm all for it. I feel like it's a lot of power. It got me excited just seeing the trailer. A lot of power in it, like excitement, and I hope it lives up to it. I cannot wait to see it when it comes out. What did you think?
Well, I mean, my initial thoughts kind of was, again, when you're dealing with Black people in the Black community, color is always going to come into play, especially when you're playing actors. But I don't want to give Daniel Kaluuya, flack for playing someone who isn't exactly his color when we didn't really do that to Denzel. You know what I'm saying? Denzel was dark skinned. He played light skinned Malcolm X. And Daniel is dark skinned. He's playing for the most, light skinned, red bone. Fred Hampton. So
you are right. He is not his complexion at all, and he doesn't look like him at all to me. Like I didn't even, when I was like, wait, he's playing Fred. Like I see him playing somebody else, and but he doesn't look anything like him. He's not even close to the complexion. Actually, LaKeith is closer to the complexion. LaKeith is closer to the bone structure and the face of him too. And they're both really good actors. It would have been nice to see, and we'll see how I'm sure they probably nailed their roles in the actual movie, but it would have been nice to see LaKeith as Fred, as this leading guy, because he looks more like him. And because, it'd been nice to see him with saying all these powerful words that Daniel was saying. But I'm sure they both are going to do great. It's very exciting. But go ahead. Go ahead.
It looks like LaKeith is the Tekashi 6ix9ine of the film. He's definitely the informant, the snitch, of course.
It looks that way.
Yeah, which is interesting. You can see the white dude tell him, go ahead, assassinate him, like we talked about.
At first, I didn't even notice him. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, oh, yeah. And it's, yeah, it looks like he's the trick. He's the one that's the informant, and yeah.
So like I said, aside from the color thing, which is you got to at least talk about in the black community, is like you got a dark skinned guy playing a light skinned guy. But again, is like I said, if Denzel can do it, and I can look at the whole movie picturing him as Malcolm X, when I know Malcolm X is a light skinned man, then I ain't gonna give Daniel Kaluuya no sort of plaque for that. But what else I want to talk about? Oh, this is a big thing with me. Now, this may not be with everybody, but a big thing with me is accents. Fred Hampton is from Chicago. You hear? He's from out here in Chicago. So, I was really, really listening for that Fred Hampton Chicago accent, because not only, obviously, you look up Fred Hampton when you researching Black History now, and we're in Black History, so perfect time to put out this movie, Black History Month. But like I said, one thing I'm really big with is accents. And Fred Hampton, from his interviews, he had that Chicago accent. Y'all don't like to use y'all R's. Y'all say, instead of here, like regular people, y'all say here. So I'm looking for that, because I do hear that in Fred Hampton's accent. And he also had that 70s sort of swag that, come on, brothers. Y'all brothers out here. Y'all ain't, you know what I'm saying? So he had that. And
a revolutionary.
Daniel Kaluuya did a lot of yelling, so like I didn't really. If he just had like a scene where he was talking normal, I could try to see if he nailed the accent. So I won't give him flack for that either, because I feel like you yelling. I didn't necessarily hear Fred Hampton. He didn't sound like he's from Africa, but he sounded like he was from America. But I didn't hear like I want people, even if it doesn't bother me, people who don't look like some people who play him, because it's just like you can get a really good actor. He didn't look like the person, but can nail him. But I guess we'll have to see when the movie comes out, because I didn't necessarily know if I hear like, oh yeah, he got that Fred Hampton down pat. Now LaKeith's character is inspired by a true story, so we don't know exactly how true they're gonna stick to Fred Hampton's actual life, but obviously there were informants in the Black Panthers who kind of gave them up to the police or whatnot. We'll see the type of character he plays. What do you think about his character that he is playing?
Oh, I think that it's very interesting. LaKeith Stanfield, I think his name is Stanfield, right? I just typed it in. I keep wanting to say Stangard. Yeah, Stanfield. I really like him as an actor. He plays very interesting roles, very unique type of roles that he plays. And so it's always exciting to see people who, take on different characters, like take on a different type of character, because here he's a snitch, you know what I mean? And so even in the little clip that we see, you see all of these different kinds of emotions. Like he seems like he's uncertain, he seems like he's a sheep in wolf's clothing or whatever, or wolf in sheep's clothing, I guess. So you see all of these ranges of emotions in just this short trailer that we see. It gives us a lot of like different sides, I guess, of him. You see him seem like he's just a part of the group. And so what I'm excited about for this actor is that we're getting to see him in a different light. He's very well known for like what he does on social media with playing different characters and stuff and impersonate different type of people. And so I'm just excited to see how he takes on this character in this film. And I'm really excited. Like I said, I've seen some of his other movies, and he always plays very interesting characters. And that's, I think that's that's what true artists they strive to do. They strive to dive outside of the box and play different kind of characters, be diverse in your roles to really show the range. And I think this film is going to really, if it's done right, show us the range of this actor. It's like I said, it's always very entertaining when he's in any different kind of roles, like in different movies, because he shows us different sides of him and shows us that when it comes to movies and films, he can really, show up and, show us different characters. And, so I'm excited, that he's in this film, and him and Daniel, what were we going to say?
Oh, no, you continue.
Him and Daniel were in Get Out together. They were in the Get Out film, so it's kind of funny that they met back up in another film. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's not some airhead guy who was taken from his body or his mind or whatever. And he's been in other films since then. LaKeith has been in. LaKeith has been in, but and I'm really excited for both of them, but I'm excited for LaKeith, and I'm excited to see what he does, because we've seen Daniel Coelho play other characters since Get Out. What else was he in? Did he play Malcolm?
I'm not sure, but I know he was in. We talked earlier about Queen and Slim. He played in that movie.
He was in Queen and Slim, and that was very interesting. Like, he's playing a lot of because that was supposed to be like a Thelma and Louise, like a Black Thelma and Louise movie, and that was interesting as well. And so you're seeing him,
or Black Bonnie and Clyde. Remember?
Black Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, that's what it is. And we're seeing him because he's not an American actor. I think he's a British actor. We're seeing him play a lot of Black roles, Black American roles. So for Daniel, he is stepping out of his comfort zone because he's able to, dive into the world of Black Americans and their stories, And so for LaKeith, I think it's interesting to see him in different roles, because you get to see his different layers of like how he can dive into his characters and stuff too. Because we're seeing that from Daniel. We're seeing that when he's, in Bonnie, what do you call it again?
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde. No, it's called something else though. Queen and Slim. Queen and Slim. We saw that with that. We saw that with Get Out. We wouldn't have known he wasn't, one of us, but he did. He played that role to a T. And other films he's been in. So with LaKeith, he plays all these different characters. I remember I saw him in what's that movie called?
Is it
Knives Out?
Huh?
Knives Out.
I know he was also in, which he did play a really good role in Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah, that was so different. Yeah. And I was like, how is this going to play out? That was a very different, interesting movie. And the ending was very weird. But he played the heck out of that role. He was a detective, a very simple detective in the Knives Out.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just always exciting to see, as artists ourselves, it's exciting to see other artists show up to the screen and really show us how deep they can dive into their characters and stuff. And so it's always nice to see people play different roles and see how they tackle that character development. So, yeah. What else did you notice? Did you notice anybody else, any other talent in the trailer?
The only other person, or the only other people I can say that I noticed was, of course, the white dude, because I'm looking at this supposed to be a Black Panther party rally.
Yeah, he's just in the crowd. Yeah, he's just in the crowd. I'm like, wait a minute, you are not one of us.
All right, he's like, doo-doo. Like whatever he's doing. So yeah, I noticed him. Obviously, he was, as you can see in the trailer, was somebody of the law, and an officer or an informant, agent, whatever. He caught LaKeith doing whatever he was doing, and now he's clearly an informant for the Black Panthers. Now, the last thing I want to mention about this trailer is, of course, this movie is called Judas in the Black Messiah. Now, everybody knows.
Go ahead.
Everybody knows that Judas is a character in the Bible who historically, obviously, turned his back on Jesus, gave Jesus up, whatever. The Black Messiah, though, that could allude to a Jesus type figure, but I think because it's doing the film about Black Panthers, it's probably, that phrase is alluding to J. Edgar Hoover, his famous saying, we must annihilate and destroy, something like the growth of a new Black Messiah, something like that. So go look that up. J. Edgar Hoover, who was a head of the FBI or wherever it was, CIA, whatever it was, said we must neutralize and annihilate the threat of a black messiah. And
wow.
yeah, that's where that term kind of gets its, its notoriety, a black messiah, because he said that in his own words. The FBI director, the CIA director, whoever said we must neutralize this. So Judas and the Black Messiah clearly is talking about someone who turns in or turns their back on who we consider a black messiah, someone who was leading one of the revolutionary black organizations. What I want to know, what do you think about the fact that clearly we can call this a Fred Hampton movie, but is it really? I mean, obviously, this is a movie that's talking about, seemed to be centered around taking out one of our black political leaders at the time, and not necessarily seem to be focused on the life of Fred Hampton. It seems like it's going to be focused on when he was taken out. What do you think about that?
Oh, wow. I'm glad we're having this conversation because I didn't think about it that way. I was so caught up in the action of it. You're right. When you really do say that, it's more about like taking them out. And for the average person like me watching this, we're so excited about the action. We're thinking like, okay, the revolution will not be televised. But there's so many scenes to give away in the trailer that shows us this is about his execution. And now that you say that, or about taking him down, that does make me very uncomfortable because we don't really need to relive that.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Fred Hampton, I believe, was killed in his Chicago apartment with his 9-month pregnant wife.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm. And I bring that up because there was a scene of him in an apartment and them shooting an apartment and his wife there.
Yeah. And I didn't even think about, I know about his wife and them killing him in front of, her. And I think she was killed too, right?
I'm not sure. I don't think she was killed in that instance. I think she had left the room at that point.
Okay. But I didn't think about how, so I remembered that as you were telling me this, but I didn't think about how traumatic that is, and we've experienced a lot of Black death in the city of Chicago and around this country, to where we don't, I didn't even realize like, we don't really need to be getting our hopes up, excited, and just to see this man relive his execution, So, sometimes when people do films, they lead up to that moment and then don't show that moment because it's about celebrating what they stood for. And so I don't know, like that kind of hurts because, I'm from Chicago and, I don't want to be reliving his death. I was excited thinking about, the revolution, thinking about how, and even though we know what happens in real life, it makes you hope that there's going to be a change, a different ending in the movie. Now I think it's very clever that they said Judas and the Black Messiah, like, because we all know, like you said, Judas in the Bible, betrayed Jesus, and I just think that's kind of clever how they came up with that. I really hope that the movie is as good as it looks. Sometimes the trailers give away too much, and then the movie just falls flat. I hope it's good. I hope the writers really were in their bag with this, but I don't want to see them get executed. I don't want to see that. And we do see that scene where they do end up getting. We know this all too well as Black people. If you grew up knowing any type of Black history, and us as artists, like I've been in plays where I've done plays and stuff where we've had to like reenact, like we've talked about what happened. So it's very programmed in my mind what happens in that apartment. Like, you know what I mean? So that's not something we want to see. Hopefully the movie talks about the good that he did and the intentions that he and the whole party had. It would be nice if it looks like they're trying to humanize LaKeith's character. I hope they really do, and even talk about if he had any regret for betraying his party, and hopefully they just don't make Fred Hampton out to be this terrorist, because that would be very unfortunate because he stood for Black liberation and Black freedom. I noticed in the trailer they said the liberation of all people in all colors or something. I don't know I think he was more focused on Blacks and Pan-Africanists. Like, I don't know, maybe if he was focused on Pan-Africanists, then that would mean other people, right? But he was heavily focused on Black liberation. So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of like, wait, other people. I know the civil rights movement was for everybody in every color in the rainbow, but it was first with the Black Panther Party, from my understanding. Of course, blacks and other diasporas and the diaspora and stuff like that, but mainly blacks in America, because if you liberate the people in your country, you can from then liberate people around the world. So I don't know. I just was kind of confused, like when they said that in the trailer, but they'll probably dive into that in the movie. Anything else you noticed? Anything else you that stood out to you in the trailer? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so again, the only other people besides the two main characters, Daniel Kaluuya and LaKeith Stanfield is his name. The only two people who stood out to me besides those was, of course, the white dude, and there was a sister in the film who looked like she was giving a very powerful performance. She had like the little afro, she had like the little tear, you know what I'm saying? So I would like to definitely see what her character. I don't know if she's like got a big character, but it looked like she was, she was doing her little acting thing. So
yeah, I wonder if she's been in anything. Like, she looked somewhat familiar. I don't know. Like, did you recognize her?
I did not recognize her. I might have, she might be one of these actresses that might have been in movies that we seen but just never knew or whatever. But so it's interesting. Like I said, it not too much really stood out to me except for that. Again, as we mentioned before, Daniel Kaluuya is a dark-skinned man, and I always just can picture Fred Hampton as this light-skinned dude. So it's just like, but maybe, like I said, if it's as good as a film as Malcolm X, like the Malcolm X film by Spike Lee, then it won't matter. If he's doing his acting thing, I would just see Fred Hampton. But that's really going to be contingent on the accent, which, like I said, if that falls short, I know Daniel Kaluuya is a very good actor. He's an actor who can give a good American accent, but a general American accent. It's not a Chicago accent. You know what I'm saying?
It's different, from a New York.
I'm the nitpicky one, that's going to look at things like that. But hey, you can't play a man and not get his accent down. You understand what I'm saying? That's really what Denzel, that's why we gave him that. Like, okay, you played that Malcolm, that, you know what I'm saying?
And at least Denzel, like, his head shape was like, because when you're casting, it's so many actors out here, so many people, but sometimes casting is trying to carry the weight of a film. Producers want to carry the weight of the film, so they may go for someone who looks nothing like him because, like, of their name. But it's, honestly, I'm excited to see Daniel and LaKeith. But I will say, as an artist, is no reason to not cast somebody that looks more similar to him, because there's hundreds of thousands of actors, so hundreds of thousands of men that look similar to him, that are talented, skilled, that could have fit that role and could have played it to a T, but yeah. So
yeah, but and just kind of ending with this, how they always said in Hollywood is they're only, as far as black actors go, there's really only like a handful that will get that sort of recognition. And I hate to say that, because I do believe that Daniel Kaluuya is a very good actor. LaKeith Stanfield also is a really good actor. But it seems like maybe we living in a time where it's just like their moment now, you know what I'm saying? Because they've been in some of the bigger black films. And although they are good actors, I would like to see more American actors play American roles. You know what I'm saying? American black actors play American black roles. Because like I said,
I agree. And we love Daniel. LaKeith is an American actor, but we love Daniel, and we love when we see different, people getting opportunities. But there's hundreds of thousands of, black American actors who are out of work, and it's no excuse to not cast them, And
I wanted to say,
Go ahead.
Okay. Now I just wanted to say, and like I said, it's really nothing against them, but my whole thing is this whole Hollywood thing where they're just going to give us the same 2 or 3 guys. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just, and I understand that, hey, these dudes do well in the box office, so maybe that's why they got them. But I mean, at the same time, I thought you were selling a movie based on Fred Hampton. If you got a brand new actor, as long as he acted and was Fred Hampton, you make it a good movie. You don't care. Like, I'm not going to see the movie just because Daniel Kaluuya in the movie, although I'm sure people just like that. But I'm going to see the movie because it's a Black Panther movie. So, which is interesting. None of these actors were actually in the Black Panther, correct? Or was LaKeith in the Black Panther? No, Daniel Kaluuya was in the Black Panther, correct? The actual Black Panther movie. And now he's playing.
Yeah, he was. I ain't thinking about that. That's funny.
Daniel My name is the Anarkist. I do a conspiracy channel. Be on the lookout, bro. They're using you in rituals. You was
Oh,
the
okay.
Black Panther, and now you a Black Panther. Be careful out there in Hollywood, my bro.
Okay, yeah, we can tune into the Anarkist channel for more of that.
I'm sure putting the box together like he was in the Black Panther. He playing the Black Panther. He black. He owned the Panther. Like, yeah, I'm going all over the place.
Goofy hat on. Conspiracy.
Right.
But
he played for the Panthers. That was his favorite team in high school. Like,
see, and that's why I said, like, you know, Daniel Coelho, great actor, and LaKeith. But I know in my mind, and see, I forgot he was in Black Panther. And, you know, he was kind of the Judas of the Black Panther, remember? I told you that. Okay. But, you know, it's so funny. In my mind, I knew he was in bigger films, you know. I hope LaKeith gets that same opportunity to be, you know, in some of these like Marvel films. And, you know, because like I said, I see Daniel getting these opportunities, which is great. He's our brother. All of these are our brothers and sisters. We're happy about this film coming out. But hopefully LaKeith can get some of these same opportunities, because we see Daniel doing all this. So that's why I'm like, okay, I know I've seen you in these roles. I'm excited to see what your co-star, you know, LaKeith is able to do, because, you know, he should be able to get some of these same opportunities and stuff. And so it's exciting to see them in a film together again. I didn't even realize that he was in the Black Panther movie as the Judas in that movie, you know. And so he'll probably be actually in the Black Panther too, but okay, that's different.
And I want to say also, and hopefully you get back to a point on media, but also I want to say, what's interesting between the Daniel and Keith dynamic is in Get Out, Daniel was the main character in that as well, and LaKeith was supporting. And in this one, Daniel is the main character and LaKeith is supporting. But it seemed like LaKeith in this film has the opportunity to steal the film from him. Obviously, it's a Fred Hampton movie. You know, it is a Fred Hampton movie. It's about Fred Hampton, but you know, we could look at his character like, well, that was a little bit more compelling the way he played that character. But what were you going to say?
Yeah, I hope he does. You know, I'm really rooting for him. It's just and that's the thing, because like that's how, not to say anyone wants to be a star, but that's how truly skilled actors are born. When you get these like supporting roles and then you steal the movie. Like Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean. It wasn't even about Jack Sparrow, but he made it about him. And it's those type of moments where like, okay, you're getting all these supporting roles, but you want the opportunity to be able to carry the weight of being number one on the call sheet. You know what I mean? Like, and so he's a very interesting artist. I don't know him, but like from the movies he's done and when he's interviewing, talking about his films, you know, you can tell he's a very interesting artist. And so I really root for those type of people, because, you know, they're not conforming, you know. And so in this role, I hope he really does carry that weight, have the audience really empathizing with his character, and really just show us overall, outside of him, but Daniel as well, and everyone involved in this production, why it was necessary to make this film. I hope that, you know, all of us viewers feels like, okay, this is a film we wanted to see, we needed to see, and it wasn't just reliving any type of trauma in our community, because that was traumatic to have the Black Panther Party, you know, assassinated by the U.S. government, you know. And some people won't call it assassination, but that's what it was, you know. Like, they took out everybody in the party, while other parties still exist. But like I said, overall, I just hope that, you know, not only is it entertaining, but it's educating for all of the younger people who do not know about the Black Panther Party, who do not know about Fred Hampton and the other members. I'm excited for everyone who's been cast in this project so that we can see them if we've never seen them before, like the sister who's in it, the lead sister who's in it. And anyone else. Like, I'm excited to see these new faces, to learn more about them. I'm going to look them up after I finish watching the film. It comes out this Friday. It streams on HBO, and it's also in theaters this Friday. And I'm tossed up. It's a toss up. Either stay at home and watch it on HBO or go to the movie theaters. I don't know. I love the tradition of going to the movie theater, so I'm still deciding. But I'm so glad that they have the option to watch it on HBO the same day that it's released in theaters. Which one will you be doing? Will you be watching it in theaters or will you be watching it at home?
I'll be here at home. My queen ain't going no dang where. Even though I would love to just get back out and go to the theater and just watch it, get some nachos. But I can get my own nachos. I got my own nachos. I'm just watch it right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where I can comment without nobody beating me up. Like, man, don't go in there. Like, man, he a snitch, man. Don't trust him, man.
Exactly. And then I like to pause movies, but I might not pause it. I like to pause and talk and rewind and watch stuff again and be like, wait a minute.
Let's think about this. Let's think about what we just watched. We don't turn the movie back on.
Wow, let's go look this up real quick and then go back to the movie. But that's just who I am, because I'm a storyteller. I love the arts and I love films and stories. And so, like I said, I got excited when I saw this trailer. I got excited for Daniel. I got excited for LaKeith. But I do hope that this isn't just a rehashing of trauma, because we as Black folks don't need no more trauma. We don't need to relive any type of trauma if it's not serving us, educating us. We don't need that. But I'm very excited about this film. This is my reaction as well as the Anarkist's reaction, and we will come back maybe and talk about what we think about the film.
Oh, for sure.
Once we watch it. Okay. All righty, you all.
We'll have a review of the film once we watched it.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. Well, I am Immediately XM, and this is the Anarkist. I will see you next time.